I learned a lot of things during my study. So I was really happy that I wasn't good enough to get scholarship. So through assistantship, I learned how to teach, how to do research, how to do a fashion lab. So I was very lucky to work with the fashion department in Purdue, which I didn't know that we had. It happens to be in my department. And those teachers asked me to work with students who have to design for the fashion performance. And I also was assigned with jobs in terms of fashion lab, kind of testing different type of fabrics, burn the fabrics and smell and see what kind of fabric it is and different characteristics of the fabric. So I still remember if you burn protein, how does it smell like? I don't think you can eat afterwards. But if you stay in 7-Eleven or Family Mart in front of Taiyuan session, keep inhaling. That's how it smells like after burning those fabric. So I was very lucky to also have experiences in the field, and I learned more about fashion industry, which is textile. Then I understand, okay, want to get into fashion industry is not something as simple as I thought. You have to have a lot of background knowledge in chemistry, in fabric, in how to make clothes, which I don't have any of those. And if you do not want to rely on only scholarship or assistantship, you can also find part-time jobs on campus. So since you're on the student visa, you cannot work off campus, but you can work on campus. So I also work in the libraries in Purdue, and I didn't get the jobs in labs, but the school also offer lab jobs, which is to go to those engineering labs or chemistry lab to wash their equipment for them, and they'll pay you by hour. And some food science departments, they also offer part-time job to work as a subject of your experiment. They pay pretty well. So you see a lot of commercials on campus that say, oh, you have to drink juice, like orange juice for a whole month. And you have to weigh yourself before and afterwards. You want to see the effect. So that kind of job is available too. When you are poor, everything works. And then after my master's degree, I tried to find the jobs in the States. So I did send out my resume to AC Nielsen. Have you heard of AC Nielsen? Consulting companies, advertising, pretty famous companies. They have branches in Taiwan too. So early time, AC Nielsen is mostly about commercials, making TV advertisement. Now they also do a lot of consulting, helping their clients to do a lot of data analysis and give advices. So I tried to apply for jobs. Then I realized I don't have a green card. It's difficult to find a job. Then, how do I know that? Because my friend who get the degree at the same time from the same major, and she sucked on statistics. She had no ability in math whatsoever. We applied for the same job. She got it because she's American. And she was wondering, how come I can get a job but you can't? You know stats, but I don't. Oh, because you're Americans, but I'm not. Then I realized, okay, I have to, if I want to stay in the US, I have to find a way to get a job there. Then I talked to people, said, okay, seems that getting a PhD, become a college professor is the first step, easiest way for you to get a green card, because the universities can sponsor you to get a green card. I thought, okay, it's not a bad route, and I had time, and I don't like to study, but I'm not too bad at it. I managed to survive. So okay, why not stay for a PhD, which I don't know what PhD is about. But then the secretary said, oh, so you're interested in PhD? I said, yes, so what do I have to do? Nothing, just tell me. And you signed and said you are interested in getting to PhD. I said, that's it? Yes, so you can start from next semester. I'm like, oh, so nice. I said, do I still have assistantship? Yes, of course. Again, good relationship with key persons in every single organization. I just got in without doing anything extra. And since I took most coursework in master level, so I didn't need to take too many classes in PhD. But since I was there, although I didn't have to pay for that, why not taking some more classes? So I even tried Sketch at Purdue. So all the classes I was interested in, and I had time when I tried them. So I went to different departments to take a lot of classes: psychology, social psychology, management school, and tourism, hotel tourism, and I don't remember, communication. I still remember the report I did in communication department, and one of my committee members is from communication. So I had a lot of experiences in different departments, and my department didn't care, so they just let us freely take classes. So I had a lot of fun working with students from different departments, especially those who are from business schools. We really think very differently. We're very slow, they're very quick. We're very in-depth, they're very shallow. So then I learned a lot. Then I got my PhD. So, anyone who knows what PhD stands for? PhD. Sounds like the cosmetics brand. DHL. No. Something D. There's a D. Anyone who knows PhD? Chinese is only one term, 博士. In English, there are different terms. We have EDD, we have PharmD, we have DBA, we have PhD. Take a guess. D is easier. Doctor, yes. How about PH? Yes. So if you get a PhD degree, you're getting a degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Doesn't matter which major, engineering, liberal art, literature, everybody is PhD. But if you don't want a PhD, you can get Doctor of blah, blah, blah. But it's not philosophy. In Taiwan, somehow our lovely education administration only acknowledge PhD. They don't acknowledge other types of doctors. But in the States, so many different kinds. And in business schools, if you don't want a PhD, you can get a DBA. That's called Degree of Business Administration. They don't care about scientific research. They only study further. So some company like CEOs, if they want to study further, then they can get a DBA without working on their dissertation. So what we did is PhD, because PhD is the type of degree that's free. Schools pay you to study because Americans don't want to study a PhD. So PhD program, you see a lot of non-American students contributing their effort to support a PhD program. And about 50% of PhD students never graduated and got a degree. They quit and made up a PhD. My case, it took me 4 years. But some of my grad school friends, because they came with families and they came with more burden, so some of them, in terms of the health issue, they couldn't continue. So they had to quit the PhD program. Okay. Not difficult to get a degree, just it takes longer. So here are some qualifications and positions if you get graduate school degrees. So basically, if you don't want to go for PhD, you can still have like bachelor and master degrees, and you can still work for universities as a lecturers or instructors, or I think we have this one right now, adjunct professors or adjunct lecturers in Taiwan, meaning that you have industry experiences. So the schools still need to rely on adjunct professors to teach the students with more pragmatic experiences or knowledge. But then we don't require PhD for those teachers. But those teachers are not tenure track, meaning that they are not in a long-term contract. They are hired on like an annual basis or every 5 years or every 10 years. YZU has many. We have like a coach or visiting professors, visiting scholars. They can account for this type of positions. So even if you don't get a PhD in the future, if you are interested in teaching or getting into higher education, that's somewhere you can go for. But then you have to have enough industry experiences to get this type of position. Versus my kind is PhD, tenured, and then we have these levels. Okay. So this type of jobs require PhD. Not in other countries, but in Taiwan. Taiwan specifically, all the universities, they prefer to have these qualifications for their tenure track teachers. So, in your imagination, what do we do in this profession? As a college professors, what do we do? Or why do people like to be a PhD? Like to be a college professors? Based on your observations, imaginations, expectations.
They like to educate people.
They like to educate people. Yeah, my students always believe that I love to come to class more than them. No, it's opposite. I just don't have choice. And?
Do research. Sometimes.
It's required that we have to do research. Since it's higher education, it's expected. In the States, actually, schools have different purpose. We have research type of schools, we have teaching type of schools. In teaching type of schools, those teachers are amazing. They're so good at teaching, they don't need to do research. But if it's a research, tier 1, 2, 3, then the teachers are very good at doing research and they suck at teaching. So Purdue has Nobel Prize winners. If you ever attended his class, will be, what? But he won Nobel Prize. So it's different types of schools in the States. It's very clearly defined. So when I look for jobs in America, those universities will tell me the terms, what are expected, depending on. Yeah. So basically what people think the professor job, with all these so-called benefits, we have summer break, winter break, all kind of breaks, except Teachers' Day, we don't have a day off, which I don't understand.